just like, sorry. GM, everyone. Hi, welcome to the founder stage. Hi, Jinwoo, how are you?
Hey, Lena. Good. How are you?
Good to have you here. Hi everyone. Great to have you here today. I'm Lena, Dev lead at Celo. Celo is a leading Ethereum L2 and is the frontier chain for global impact, and we're scaling real-world solutions for all. And this is the founder stage where we highlight founders that are building for MiniPay and basically for millions of users. And MiniPay is a self-custodial stablecoin wallet built on Celo with over 15 million activations globally, and it has near zero fee transactions that are making stablecoins useful throughout the world. And today we have a very exciting guest, and that's Jinwoo from Human Labs joining us today from Korea, right?
Yes. I am based in Korea. Hey,
Nice.
everyone.
Hi. So good to have you here. Very excited, I think, because you reached out first to me, and we're going to cover that in a second. But that was a little bit like the part of your journey into MiniPay. So amazing to have a little round circle here and coming back together here on this founder stage. And yeah, today we're going to talk about Human Labs journey and how you got to Celo, and also how you launched your first mini app on MiniPay, and super exciting, also announced the second app that just launched this Monday called Human Tap. And it's also the first app that is using Celo tokens in MiniPay apart from the Buy Celo app. So super excited for this. And hi everyone also who joined. Hi Damien. And very excited for this. I think before we get started, so for everybody who is joining, we always do a quick intro, a little demo, and then we get right into the questions. So Jinwoo, can you give us just a quick intro? Who are you and how did you get to build mini apps?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks, Lena, for the stage. So my name is Jimru. I am the co-founder of Human Labs with my co-founder, Hako. We've been building mini apps across different ecosystems for about a year and a half now. And basically, we launched Halo and Human Tap on Celo MiniPay, and we're excited to be here. We would love to show you the demo, and I guess that'll be easier to understand what we're doing.
Okay, let's add the demo to the stage, and then we will have some questions around that. So the first video is like we're showing 2-in-1, right? This is Halo. Can you explain a little bit what's happening here?
Sure. So I don't have a receipt on that screen right now, but basically it's a very easy receipt scanner habit app. You're able to scan your receipt wherever you are in the globe. If you can pause the video for a bit, that would be great. So yeah, basically, whether you're from Korea, whether you're based in the States, or some country, maybe in wherever you are, we are able to recognize which item you're purchasing, how much it is, which store it is, and then the dates and everything. We process that into the Filecoin system. It's all encrypted. It's safely stored on chain, well, partially on chain, and then we're able to analyze and show all the data for you. And based on that, you're able to earn points, and with the points, you're able to participate in the raffles, which a lot of users have been doing so far. And basically, with participating by the raffle, you're able to receive USDT as rewards. We've given out about $960, I think, so far in rewards. and it's all from our pockets. We are here to support your financial habits.
Amazing. Super exciting. I also already scanned some receipts. So, and you just launched now Human Tap. Let's show it. I think it's so fun. I think I bought a few pop-ups, I think, because it was just like a lot of fun. So let's show it to also the people. Oh.
Yeah, great music. So yeah, Human Tap is basically a arcade style tapper game. You're able to earn points when you're idle, even if you have left the app and you come back, you'll see points being accumulated. You could actively also tap, as you saw earlier, for points. And if you run out, you could either, I guess, refresh top up pay with points or Celo tokens to refresh the max points. And you could also level up to increase the booster levels. And by gathering points, you're able to be on the ranking system, as you can see right now, with points, invitation of friends, and the booster levels as well. So basically, you're competing with everyone in the world, trying to rank high, and we'll have events that will be going on weekly and monthly for the rankings.
Oh,
And apart from that, it's just fun. It's just fun to play on your phone.
It's a lot of fun. I really love it. Okay, nice. Let me remove this. So, but from the screen. Okay, yeah, very excited. We will also have a chat a bit about how it is to build your second app and launch your second app on MiniPay. But kind of before we dive into that, you have been building in other ecosystems, and when you like World, for example, when you're comparing ecosystems as a builder, what are you actually looking at? Like, just like considering your journey to Celo and to MiniPay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess every time it's a bit different, like what we are looking for, but Celo and MiniPay specifically, I reached out to you, and I think on a Telegram DM, and I think that's how everything started a few months back, I believe. And before that, I was following Celo devs on Twitter, and I also saw some other programs like Proof of Ship going on. So I familiarized myself with all the support that Celo is giving, and also how MiniPay expanding to the mini app ecosystem. So we knew that we were at a pretty early stage if we enter Celo and MiniPay as a mini app builder at the moment. And then we also saw that there was a lot of users that are actively using MiniPay and using Celo behind the scenes. And there wasn't too much to do at that moment. So we knew that building our apps would give something fun for the users to try out. And that became Halo, the Receipt Scanner app. And now I think it's one of the earliest games still on MiniPay, Human Tap, which is also using Celo and USDT.
Okay. Yeah, no, super excited. I think MiniPay is a great way of like sending money, but it's also just fun to play some games, and sometimes you can get a lot of rewards, which is great. When you mentioned that you found, like you learned about the process, like about Celo being interested in mini apps through Proof of Ship and our reward programs and grant programs, like when was the moment that you were like, okay, let me text Lena and reach out? Like, how did you decide now is the time?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good grants program, I think, on Celo and MiniPay, but I think the moment we reached out, it was more on we wanted to reach new users for the mini apps we had, which was Halo at that moment. And basically, I think we didn't know exactly what to expect as in terms of user demographics or the numbers. But Halo was like one of the apps that we tried out because it also we're able to recognize, I guess, which countries users are coming from with the receipts. So it was a great way to, I guess, start on Celo.
And when you first tried out MiniPay, what as yourself and started building for it, what stood out for you as a builder?
Oh yeah. So MiniPay surprisingly is very, very lightweight. So I mean, like all the apps we have these days, they're pretty heavy. They don't really care about reducing the app size as much. But MiniPay was super, super lightweight. I think it's like 15 megabytes or 20 megabytes, even less for some devices. So that was also really surprising. And then the onboarding process with your phone number is also straightforward, and also gives that, I guess, kind of like a unique user barrier. Um, a link to the wallet addresses, which is also very beneficial for a mini app builder. And yeah, how easy like the wallet is integrated. Celo was just recently, I think, integrated as well before being exposed, I guess, on the screens. So like a lot of surprising moments, I guess, for a mini app builder to find.
Okay. So to summarize, basically, it's just super easy to build for, and then for users, super easy to use.
Yeah, I guess that would be the summary. Yeah.
So when you reached out to me, and then I did the intro with MiniPay, how long was the process for you to actually launch Halo?
I think so. There were some processes, I guess, reaching out to you first, and then I think you connected me to the MiniPay team, I believe, and then we had that onboarding process. So in total, the onboarding process from, I guess, reaching out to you to actually launching an app was still about 3 to 4 weeks, which was pretty fast. Thinking about how many, I guess, different processes you might have to take for other ecosystems.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think I already heard it. Like as soon as your app is already live in a different ecosystem, you can prove you have experience with users. I've heard from a few founders now that it's like around a month and you can launch. I think that's very incredible. And when you launched, you shared also in our Telegram group that you reached quite a high number in the beginning, especially in transactions, and you're still doing quite a high number. What did those numbers teach you about MiniPay users and
Yeah. So when we launched on MiniPay with Halo, we reached about 10K transactions per day within, I think, a week or so. And it kind of showed us how actively the users are participating day to day, that we would see the retention pretty high. Users would come back. And even if not all users understand what a Web3 is, the process itself, like, for example, transactions or the pop ups, are integrated really well with MiniPay. And there were some guidelines around it as well. And basically, that helps, I guess, users to use Web3 in a Web2 manner without really having to understand what everything else is. And that led to transactions that we were able to prove to Celo and MiniPay, basically, that our app is contributing to the chain as well. So that was the
Nice.
experience.
And you also talking about the MiniPay users, right? I feel like you did not only you launched and then you really tried to understand who are your users. You also shared that you did some user interviews, in a small sample. And how did those help you to shape the second feature that you added?
Right. So we started by interviewing our users from their emails. So less than 10, I think 7 or 6 interviews we had with users, and even that itself was good enough because we were having a lot of emails on basically all kinds of questions like how do I use this, what do I do with it, how much can I earn, like we can reply to each and every email as a small team using AI and everything. However, doing the interviews with the users was very important for us to understand MiniPay users because we basically had a walkthrough with the users. So we watched how they're interacting with the app, where they're stuck at, and these are like the moments that we couldn't see through the emails or just with the data from analytics, and that helped us build, I guess, the second feature, which was the raffles. And basically, the raffles is going on pretty well, I think. A lot of people are participating, earning, and then we're paying out users every month. So
Amazing, exciting. And when you like with this user research and I love that you're very data driven and trying to like iterate with user feedback. What specifically about the MiniPay users, what was surprising compared to other chains? What did it teach you in general about building good user experience? And what did you learn? What are you going to take away in your next app building, also to Human Tap?
right. So our learning points from interviewing the MiniPay users was basically a very, very straightforward UX experience that we need to deliver. Even some small parts or some flows that we thought was pretty intuitive to ourselves was actually not the case for all users. And that would all lead to, I guess, questions on through the emails and I guess some complaints, I guess, through DMs and everything. So to make that experience, I guess, very easy and straightforward for the users, we had to come up with good UI, good UX, translations, of course. We support, I think, 24 or more languages at the moment, well translated. And all this, I guess, small add-ons we did after each interview helped us, I guess, to become at the stage where we are. We still have a lot to do, but I think we are still improving.
Amazing. And I also remember you mentioned that you expected, just from your general experience of building mini apps, that the on-chain transaction is going to be a barrier because that was your previous experience. But in MiniPay, it was also surprising that that was not a blocker at all with most users, right?
Yes. So MiniPay, in my experience, is very easy for builders to build on, especially with on-chain experience, because it doesn't. So, like the term, there's I guess two parts that makes it easy for mini app builders. One is the phone verification part. So we don't have access to the phone itself, but we know from the wallet address that it's backed by a unique phone number. So that helps us, I guess, analyze the users. Like if we build an app in the normal Web2 world, one person can create dozens of emails or accounts and kind of try to just farm us or just make data noise. But here, usually one wallet is just one user. So that helps us actually understand the numbers and see the funnels, see what actions the user is taking. So that's really helpful from the builder perspective. And the second part is the transaction fee that is, I guess, um, what's the right word for it? Native, right? So even if you don't have Celo tokens, if you have USDT, you're still able to process transactions. I think that's a Celo feature that supports it. And it's not commonly seen in other chains unless you're using a third party to kind of enable that. So that's extra work that we didn't have to do here on Celo and MiniPay.
Yeah. It's I think I always repeat myself, but I feel like Celo really, like the founders, and when they designed the whole architecture of MiniPay, of Celo, they always had in mind to create it as accessible as possible, as actually like a financial railway to onboard the global majority, and not just and with that, the phone number design, the fee abstraction, where you can use stablecoins for gas and so on, and the very low gas fees. So yeah, definitely something that makes building like consumer applications on Celo very, very easy and makes sense. For about like the MiniPay partnership, you built your first app, Halo, and then you also brought Human Tap. How was that journey, like, of building trust, working with the MiniPay team? Can you share a bit about that?
Yeah. So we have a dedicated group chat, I guess, with the Celo team and the MiniPay team. So as a app builder, that's really helpful because if we have any questions or we have plans in the future, we're able to discuss it and get a relative quick reply, I guess, compared to other ecosystems that we have experienced. So that's really helpful, getting hands-on, I guess, support. And then, sorry, could you repeat the question?
How was the journey of bringing your first app and then going to launching your second app, right? Like,
Right.
that journey with
Yeah, that was pretty. So our journey from, I guess, launching Halo, the receipt scanner, to Human Tap, the Tapper arcade game, was pretty smooth. So during Halo, we were able to understand the users, and one of the, I guess, major questions or emails we received was regarding it's not a fun experience. We understand that it's a habit builder app. You get rewarded with raffles, but that also means it's kind of same day to day, right? And then you don't really see, I guess, other users playing with you or using the app together. So that led to Human Tap. It's a completely new redesign from what we had previously, to launch here on Celo MiniPay. And basically, we have that fun music, that tapping experience, all the effects, just to give the fun, addictive experience just by playing. But we also have that ranking system, and we have more features that we are launching soon that makes you feel like you're with other people. And basically, when we say other people, it's basically a lot of users across the globe on Celo and MiniPay who are just ready to, I guess, play and try out the apps.
Yeah. What position do you have on Human Tap's leaderboard?
Sorry, say that again.
What is your position on the leaderboard right now?
Oh, I think on that video I was on 88, I think, but that's probably because I had a bit head start than any other users. A lot of users have already surpassed me in, I guess, 2-3 days. So
I think I'm very low. I had one day where I spent a lot of time, so I need to catch up. What was the learnings that you did in Halo that you also brought into Human Tap, like from the
yeah.
app design and customer support and
Yeah, I think learnings from Halo into Human Tap is definitely language. And then the support system, we definitely need to improve. I'm sure that we didn't make 100% of the users happy with our support, so we were trying to improve that as well with a takeout system. And then I think we'll be having a Telegram group chat that has been also been asked for a long time, where I guess basically where users can chat to each other, help each other out, share referral codes if needed. So I think that's definitely in the marketing side that we need to learn as, I guess, mostly developers, devs here in the team, which we've been weak at. And then the other learning from Halo and Human Tap was, as I mentioned earlier, the experience itself. So I think it's much more straightforward on how the game works. And then on purpose, the booster parts aren't as friendly because we want users to be just clicking and trying things out. But the main page itself, just tapping the character to get more points, I think that's very, very straightforward. So even if you don't know what to do, you just tap and see the points rising. So you know immediately what you're supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah. I think you described like a really nice learning journey of like, first of all, building your product way like more straightforward, caring more about the user experience, doing a lot of user research also, and working with your users to improve and develop your project. And like for builders and founders building for MiniPay, how like what is the journey, or like why would you advise them to build on MiniPay and this roadmap, also like repeat this roadmap of that you did, like you mentioned before to me? It was good to like launch with one app and then slowly move into like growing into several apps. Yeah, how would you share that with other builders, this journey?
Right. I guess we're still on the journey with Celo and MiniPay, so we are still learning as well. But as a builder to future builders or current builders on Celo and MiniPay, I think just our learnings was that one mini app could be super successful in the future somehow, but it's also a great way to test out your hypothesis to users who are ready to try out your app. Of course, you can't be too sloppy with your first version. You need to have some hypothesis back with your own, I guess, features and ideas and structures. But it's also a really good way to learn on the journey. So you don't need to be perfect from day one, but you definitely need to improve over the days. And then from the learnings we learned from Halo, I think that led to Human Tap. And that's, I think, that's not necessarily I'm saying that you need to have multiple apps, but you'll definitely learn along the way. And there's a lot of users here on Celo that are ready to try it out.
Yeah, I also remember you saying like it's good to like have the first experience and then iterate until you have this viral app or several viral apps, which is just a great starting point for any founder to have that in your portfolio, right? And when you like two more questions, like what do you feel like you underestimated when launching in MiniPay, and what would you advise builders to prepare for, like when they launch?
I think one thing that really surprised us with MiniPay users is the numbers. So when we launched Halo, I think we have now a cumulative maybe 220K or 230K users that have at least tried the app out once. And that's a lot of users if you think about any other Web2 experience. You need to be ready with your server and database, make sure that you're able to have that capacity to bring the users in. But also, I mean, Celo itself will help you on the on-chain side, transactions and everything. The transactions fees are pretty low. Actually, not pretty low, very low. And of course, the blockchain being able to scale in the numbers that you have. We did 10K transactions per day with no problem, which would have been an issue if we were on Ethereum itself, for example. And then, just be ready for all these users. As I mentioned earlier, the customer support and the servers, yeah.
It's crucial. It's crucial. I think especially for your launch day, you have to be ready to, when your app has this new flag and you're on the top, you get so many users and you just have to be prepared also as your customer support. And now that human tab launch, like you mentioned like the total amount of users for Halo. Do you already have some numbers you can share of human tabs, or any exciting, like just in general numbers that you're proud of sharing for any of the apps in MiniPay?
Yeah, I think Human Tab we launched, is it 2 days ago now? Like I'm kind of losing time as we're awake, like pretty most of the time. Like I think we're woke getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep in the last few days. But I think we have about almost 10K, about 9,000 users right now. We also have our own internal dashboard that we also create to track all the stats, where the users are, which levels or points distribution or the tiers they are at. And we also use this to share, I guess, with the Celo and MiniPay team. And I think we're still learning. So this app, we definitely spent a lot of time, in, not just in the design, but also the structure. But as we had experience with Halo, we'll be, I guess, adding more features as we see where the users drive us. So I think that'll be a cool experience.
Amazing. Very, very excited to see where you're going. Anything else to share that's on Human Labs roadmap? Anything, any features, any new apps that you have in mind?
I think for MiniPay, Halo and Human Tab will be our focus for, I guess, at least the next few months, especially with Human Tab. We're excited to launch this on MiniPay, as it's going to be, I think, one of the fun games on MiniPay that you can definitely try out. The leveling system and everything, I think we planned a lot for it. We'll add more features, as I keep mentioning, but please try it out. It's just addictive and fun. And tell me which rank you rank in eventually.
Please tell us where you rank. If you already surpassed Jim, well, you definitely surpassed me, I assume. But see my name. And Human Tabs just launched, so make sure to test it out. And are you, like you mentioned, there's some campaigns coming. When can people expect them? Can we already tell them?
Yes. I think we'll launch a marketing campaign soon. We'll be launching it on our Telegram group channel chat to be exact, and on Twitter. So as soon as we have decent number of users who are who have tried out Human Tap, I think that'll be a perfect time to launch that.
Amazing. Very cool. And then definitely make sure to follow Jinwoo on Twitter so you can be up to date with all upcoming campaigns, of course, also MiniPay. And then if you are a founder and you are building a great mini app that you feel like should be on MiniPay too, I will also share the link where you can submit it. But yeah, make sure if you're not watching this through the MiniPay Twitter stream, make sure to follow them for any updates. And we also have here the intake form for founders. So we join Human Tab on the app list. And yeah, or feel free to reach out to me as well. And yeah, thank you so much, Jinwoo, for
Thank
joining
you.
today. Thank you. Congratulations on launching your second app. And yeah, great to have you. Please, I hope you get to rest a little bit now that you launched the app and supported a lot of customers and yeah, made the app so fun. And yeah, thank you so much. Hope to have you soon, maybe in a few months with like another app. And yeah, happy building. Thank you everybody for joining today and have a great evening. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.